Peace, peace, peace. What's going on with the fam out there? I know it's late night, but something just, kind of bothered me a little bit. So I figured that I'd let y'all check this out and see what y'all think about this because this is kind of weird to me. Um, that these brothers will be doing what they doing. I just want to get y'all input on this and see what y'all think. Let me make sure that my sound is putting out good, but this is really weird to me. You know, make sure I'm putting out good. Uh, this is really weird to me. Peace, 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 family. Peace, all right, so look, check this clip out right here. And let me see. I'm gonna screen share this real quick. Yeah, just tell me what y'all think about this. Tell me what y'all think about this. All right, so let's look at this. Oh, man. Screen and pause on me. Hold on, y'all. Give me a minute, y'all. My screen didn't pause on me, but I need y'all to see this real quick because this is kind of crazy. That's why I need to get a new computer because this mug is crappy. This is super crappy, and this is the what's called. Let me click on this again. Let y'all look at this. Or this might be Facebook, but this Surface. This ain't right. So let me click on this again so y'all can see this. Hit the button on this. Maybe it's. Maybe it's Facebook. Let me refresh it one more time. Yeah, but maybe it's Facebook having problems. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely some problems here. Let's see. All right, so we refreshed that. Let's see, can we get it? Still ain't responding like it should. This thing moving so terribly slow. All right, so this Isupk right here. Keep it right here. The child here. I'm gonna keep it. So this is just pure foolishness. This pure foolishness. And this is ISUPK, y'all. I mean, let's go back to this. You couldn't possibly be teaching any type of holiness. Look at this. I mean, I don't know what they do now, but I know what was done back then. And drink out of straws at the club, especially straws that little, not unless it's a a styrofoam coffee cup with a straw. But ain't nothing definitely in that cup at all. Nothing's in that cup. This brother at the club, UPK out, as y'all can see. This brother got the wristband on for yourself with the spikes on it, the pinky ring, sipping out a cup. This ain't nothing in there, fam, at all. It's just straw and ice. That's it, fam. And we've been, knowing that men don't drink out of straws, especially at the club. That don't make any sense. ISUPK right here, man, St. Louis. This ISUPK St. Louis, man. I'm talking about, look at him when he walk past him. Watch how he mug him. Watch this. Let's turn it back a little bit. Watch this. Look, man, this brother is at the club, shirt with a belt around his head. and the brother got the wristbands on with the beaded jacket on. I'm talking about, man, like these ain't the priestly garments, is it? I mean, he got the spikes in the on his head. Come on, man. This is just dead wrong right here. Like, do these brothers practice holiness? Look at this. Look how dude mugging him. If y'all see how dude looked at him, watch how dude looked at him, man. Watch how he look at him. Let me go back. Y'all see him right here? Look how he looking at him. Like they mugging him. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with that? Look, watch this. Look how he looking at him. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But if I'm not mistaken, them dudes was not with them. But they was looking at them like they was crazy. But this is just weird, man. You know what I'm saying? This brother sipping on a straw at the club outside the temple with the garments. Who is True Light? The True Light. He said that's not a club. Let's look at this, man. Look in the back. Look in the back. They don't like that. You hear me? Look, you got the black dude talking to the white woman. Look at this. They chilling. You hear me? The heathens, man. Ain't that crazy, man? Like, that's a no-no, man. That's a #1 no-no. Man, ain't nothing in that cup, dude. Nothing is in that cup, dude. I mean, this is just tomfoolery, man. This is just crazy, man. Yeah, that's crazy, man. But, you know, just really wanted to show y'all that, man, that these brothers still in these streets, man. They still in these streets. That's what's going on around here, man. I just wanted to show that, man, and let y'all see what's really going on. Yeah, what's up to the family, man? That brother was in there, man. He was in there sipping on that strizzle, that straw. Boy, had them couch buttons on that leather. That's what it looked like. Some of them little couch buttons on them cheap little couches. Nah, them look like thumbtacks. That brother had thumbtacks all on the leather, man, on the wristbands. That boy a fool with it, man. Straight fool with it. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on around here, man, but these brothers is fooling themselves, man, and fooling everybody else. Yeah, man, I just wanted y'all to see that. I know it's late night. It's 12:39. Peace to the family. I don't know, y'all. So tomorrow we probably try to bring some information out. Oh man, that brother James Cassell off the hinges, man. James Cassell, man, if you listening in, bro, you a clown with it, man. We're gonna deal with your information tomorrow. You've been putting out. I wish you can go live. I wish you if you in the chat room right now, man, just let me know something, man. Let me know something so we can get you in here. I got a good 30 minutes in me, bro. A good 30 minutes in me. What's going on, Tony? I got a good 30 birdie in me. So we can go on 30 minutes and we could talk about some stuff, man, because you had a lot to get off your chest today. And it seems to me you brothers don't know what the law is. Y'all don't know the culture. And you brothers will always be talking about somebody living like heathens, but you brothers right there in the midst of the heathens. Right there, man. And then just think it's all good. And you got brothers at the club mugging you and looking at you like you crazy because they like, man, who is these dudes in here, man, looking like hell's angels? Looking crazy, man. Yeah, man. Who is these dudes in here with these biker suits on? Them the biker boys, the St. Louis biker boys. Yeah, man. I wonder what Cesario gonna say when he see that, man. I wonder is that how they still getting down, man. They might as well, what's holy about it? It says, "Be ye holy, for I'm holy." I'm not saying I'm perfect, but good Lord, man, you right at the club with it, man. Their founder said he got a message from an angel in a bar. Really? Never knew that. Never knew that. Never knew that. Yeah, but it's just ridiculous, man. Like you can't at all, man, be doing that. We've been dealing with some situations, man, in St. Louis, man. Close relatives and family, and it definitely hurt, man. But at the same time, they like the club, man. And so I got in-laws, man, that they really, you know, um, they that's what they do, man. They love to do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got family that does that stuff, man. And it's sad to say, a lot of brothers and sisters is losing their lives out here, man. So we can't be playing around, mixing it up in these clubs, and chilling like everything going good. Because if they get to shooting at these clubs or the atmosphere get hot or heated up, I mean, you in the midst of it, so you can't expect not to get, for the Lord to be like, oh man, I'm just gonna shield this person. Nah, man, you right there with them. You got your tequila, wild, whatever you're drinking on. You're drinking out your straw. You got your armored gear on. You know what I'm saying? You got the thumbtacks around your wristband on the leather. You got your, Stacy Adams belt wrapped around your head with wrapped over a sheet. I'm saying a tablecloth, because that's what that is. That was a tablecloth on that brother's head. That brother had one of them. That brother stole off his grandma's tablecloth and cut it up and put it over his head. Them brothers be, I got all types of upholstery on. Yeah, man. So it's just crazy, man. Them brothers up there tripping, man. So we got to do better, man. We can't get caught in that type of position like that, man. But that's the brother from St. Louis, man. That's the brother. That's one of the officers from St. Louis. The one that be talking heavy and calling people homos and stuff, but he drinking out of a straw, a little one at that. I mean, and then you look how big his hands was around that straw. It just looked kind of weird, man. Around, he just looks silly, man. Well, you know, You just don't do nothing. You at the club, man. You straight drinking out of a straw. Ah, man. You supposed to you the man. You supposed to that whole cup, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Looking real sweet tea. Yeah, man. So this is just ridiculous, man. We got to do better, man. But yeah, what I want to do, I want to do something real quick because we can we can see. Let me see something real quick. Uh, I want to bring up something real quick because when you look at I was asked a question today, so I guess I'm gonna bring it out right now, and I'm gonna screen share this real quick. Them brothers out there tweaking today, man. They own it, man. That brother say, man, this thing be straight trip, man. Yeah, buddy. I want to go to Revelations 17. Matter of fact, let me go here because this is interesting right here. Genesis chapter 12. Go one more. Now, what's interesting about this, when you look at this, right? Now, let's grab this real quick. Now, it says, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly, stone and slime had they for mortar, right? And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth, right? It says, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. It says, the number abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of that called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them upon abroad upon the face of all the earth. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this out is because out of this dispersion right here, a lot of these kingdoms came up out of this dispersion. And so remember, they would have only remembered what they retained, as far as what they agreed upon here to come together and make themselves a name, lest they be scattered abroad. And so we see also they was building a city and a tower, right? So when they were scattered, they will retain that knowledge in their own tongue, but they will continue to build whatever they was trying to accomplish. They will try to do that while they were scattered. And this is why we have pyramids and also different step pyramids in these different high places that we see, always stretching up as high places, always reaching up. One is going up by stairs, or these places of worship, or or channeling, where a person or a place where a person can channel at, channeling to some type of deity, some type of God, divine one. And so it's mainly the priest to be, the head of these things and receiving these revelations when they go up into these high places. And this is something that we see within all of religions, the ancient cultures, where they go up into these high places where they invoking something or calling upon something, basically. So I want to show y'all something real quick, because from this dispersion comes forth. So let's jump back over to Revelations. And this is why I say that Egypt is part of the beast system. The things that Egypt got in it, for as their practices, which have also a Eastern and also a Near East cultural spin on it. Like, if you really look at it, there's no difference from the stories that we see um this in Sumer, as far as when we start looking at archaeology, and then when we start looking at their religions in Susa, Elam, India, we see some of those practices within Kemet or Egypt. And most people try to lie, try to deny that, but that's just not. It's simple. Now, what I want to point out here, it says Mystery Babylon. Mystery is because this is the same Babylon that we see. This a religious system that was started in Genesis chapter 11. It's the same thing. And so what secret rites that they had, that system, that very same system that they had there, has something to do with what's over here. That's why it says Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abomination of the earth. And so let's look at something real quick. Let's jump up real quick. So when you look at 17, jump back over one more. It says, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And it's going to tell you what those waters is and how she sitteth upon many waters, because she's influencing what we call the people, right? It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. And that fornication that we see right there is basically with lying down or taking some type of thought or information or sharing something with this woman, right? It says, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So the inhabitants of the earth have all been drunken by this mystery Babylon religious system, right? She sitteth upon many waters. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. Now, first of all, he's been carried away in the spirit into the wilderness, not to the Vatican. I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names and blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So this woman, right, she's sitting upon a beast. Now, if she's sitting upon the beast and the beast is carrying her, consists of a system that we see for as political, economic, and also religious. So when we look at it, right, we look at her, she is this religious system, right? And she's sitting upon this beast. Now, as I stated before, the beast consists of 3 things. The beast consists of a man, right? Because he's the dictator overall of the system. And then it also consists of, when you read the scriptures, Revelations chapter 11, the spirit that came up out of the bottomless pit, that came up out of perdition or went into perdition, it consists of an angelic spirit that's behind this dictator, as well as overall system of people that we see that establishes what we see the mark of the beast concerning Revelation chapter 13, right? So let's look at this. The woman is seated on top of the beast. The beast is carrying this woman. So when we look at the world system of the world, they're carrying this religious system. And this is that same system that we see back in, Genesis chapter 11. It's the same system. It's the same system, because you got to understand, these people are taken at that time in Genesis chapter 11. And because, and they were scattered, and they retained that information, and they tried to erect those things within their languages, in their tongues. And now they're bringing those things back together to defy God, as they did in Genesis chapter 11. The system that we see is headed by a religious system with these mystery rites and all types of rituals that we see. Same thing. So let's look at this. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy. Now, the beast has 7 heads, right? And 10 horns. And we're going to deal with that 7 heads and 10 horns. We can look at that in Daniel chapter 7, image of the 10 toes in Daniel chapter 2, when we start looking at the bottom of the feet of the image, right? We see the thighs down to the legs, and then we get down to the very toes itself. This beast is the 7 heads and 10 kings, right? 7 heads and 10 kings, it says. I'm sorry, 10 horns. It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones. Now, most people look at this and say, oh, this is America. You're going to have these people saying this is America. So much America, Mystery Babylon is a religious system, but she does have a city that she, is looked at to rule from. So let's look at this real quick. Let's make this make sense. So watch what it says. It says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And one of the reasons, like, most people look at this and say, well, this is the Romans. This is the Catholics. This is Roman Catholicism. This is the Pope now. Mystery Babylon, the religion predates Catholicism or the Catholics. It predates that. It goes all the way back. So the kings that came up out of the Mystery Babylon system have done nothing, martyred saints, and also those that we see that was with Jesus. That's what they did. And so when we look at when it says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Now one would say, well, Jesus came during the Roman time. Yes, he did. But there's always been saints before we looked at the Roman time. This beast, or this woman, has caused a lot of problems since the ancient times. It says, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman. Carried her. Now I told y'all she's the head, she's over the beast, she's over this system that we see, the beast system that we see. What I told you, it consists of a man, a dictator, and a system with an angelic spirit just guiding the whole process, right? So watch what it says. And it says the beast carried her, which have 7 heads and 10 horns. So the beast has 7 heads and 10 horns. And the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. So we see that this very beast, this beast that thou sawest was. In other words, it was, right, in John's before John's day, and is not in John's day, right? And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. So he's seeing this beast, right? He said, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, right? And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. Now, what we can get from that is that in John's day, that we see, right, is that it consists of what we're going to look at is consist of the the one thing that we see, which is they go into the spirit that go into perdition, right? In Revelation chapter 11. When you look at Revelation chapter 11, you're going to see that there's a spirit, right, that we see that comes this release from the bottomless pit, and that spirit goes into perdition, right? So this spirit is also called the beast just as well, because it consists of this very beast that we see. It's the strength and the power behind this beast that we see. So it says, the beast that thou sawest was. Why is he saying it was? Because it was, John, but in your day, John, it is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Now let's look at something real quick. Let's see. Revelations 11. Revelations 11. Let's see. Where is it at? Okay, here it is right here. 7. Revelations 11:7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overtake them and kill them, right? So we see that this beast ascends out of the bottomless pit, right, and makes war with the two witnesses. Let's go back over here, Revelations 17. So the beast definitely consists of a spiritual demonic force that will who will be channeled by these people who this system is dealing with and who this dictator is dealing with. Let's look at it real quick. So it says, and the beast that was, since the beast that thou sawest was and is not in your day, John, or just emphasize is and is not, and out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, right? He keeps saying that was. In other words, he was and is not today, and yet is to come, basically. This is what they're saying. And here's the mind system. The 7 heads are 7 mountains. Now, most people are going to say, well, these are the mountains of Rome. That's not correct. Let's continue on. Sitteth. So these are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Now, we just read up above that the woman is sitting on the beast. And the beast has 7 heads and 10 horns. So let's look at it. If she's sitting on the beast, right, these 7 heads that he's talking about are 7 mountains, right? When he says 7 heads are 7 mountains, these are 7 kingdoms, because mountains were considered kingdoms, or mounds were considered kingdoms. So these are 7 kingdoms or empires, right, on which the woman sitteth, right? And so that's what he's saying the 7 heads is. And she's sitting on these 7 heads, because remember I told y'all that out of Mystery Babylon came forth these 7 kingdoms, or these 7 mountains. And we're gonna show you who those 7 mountains is. And the last one, or not, I wouldn't say the last one, but the 7th one has 10 horns on it, right? We're gonna show you what that is. So it says the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. So she's sitting on that, right? So she's sitting on that beast, that system, right? Or what we see, the kings and the governments of the world, right? And this dictator that we see, plus this angelic being, this behind this very system are, I'm gonna say partially, heads. And we're gonna deal with that. So with 2 of those heads, and we're gonna deal with that because I believe it's he's powered the 8th kingdom, and he also powered what you call the 5th kingdom, which was the Grecian Empire, right? This pertaining to these 7 heads. So watch what it says. 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, and there are 7 kings. Because remember, if you got 7 heads, 7 mountains, there must be 7 kings that ruled over these kingdoms. Watch what it says. 5 are fallen. Now remember, when we look at mountains, it is looked at in Daniel chapter 2, that will come and fall out of the heavens, and this mountain will become a kingdom, because mountains is looked at as kingdoms. So you can find that in Daniel chapter 7 and also Daniel chapter 2, right? Let's look at something real quick. So it says, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is. So if there are 7 kings and it just said 5 are fallen, we have to look and say, well, who was this 5? Now remember, Daniel is only giving you the image, right? Image, and he's showing you about these kingdoms, as far as the Babylon, the Medes and Persians, the Grecians, and the Roman, right? That's what he's showing you. He gets over to Daniel chapter 7, and he starts showing you also these 4 kingdoms, the 4 kingdoms that we see just as well too. And remember, out of that, the 4th kingdom that we see, which was the Roman Empire, came forth these 10 kings, right? Now, what I want to bring out here is because I want to show you something. John gives us more revelation because he's John the Revelator. He's giving you more revelation that of Daniel. I'm gonna prove that. He says there are 7 heads, 7 mountains. There are 7 heads. He says the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, and there are 7 kings. Those kings are fallen. Now let's look at those 5, because these 5 have something to do with Israel, and we're going to show you. This is why it's called Jacob's troubles, because also we're gonna show you that too, because these 5 that we see will start off, that comes up out of Mystery Babylon. That system that we see is Egypt, after the Babylon incident. And we can historically prove that, because I believe that very kingdom that we see right there was the Sumerian kingdom that we see of that Babylon, the Babylon deal that we see in Genesis chapter 10 and also 11. I think that was the Sumerians, I believe. And I believe that out of the Sumerians came forth the Egyptian empire. This is why when we start looking at pottery, we start seeing the same type of pottery that we see this over in Kemet, over in the Levant area, as well as over in Greece. We see the same type of pottery because we see that there is an expansion that took place, which is also talked about when you look at, which was also looked at as the Tower of Babel too. So that expansion that we see is a culture that we see that is expanding outwards. And once it expands outwards, those people take those very things that we see as far as religious rights and basically over into those other places. Now, Egypt is one of the first civilizations to rise up out of that Babylon kingdom. And I'm not talking about Neo-Babylon, but this ancient Babylon that we see here, right? It rises right up out of that. That's why when you look at Genesis chapter 10, it says that Nimrod, he also had a kingdom called Erech, also as Uruk into modern day Iraq. So when we look at it, it's basically showing us that the very kingdom out of that was Egypt. And that's one of these five that's fallen. Egypt, which also Israel was also in Egypt and was brought up out of Egypt when God brought that kingdom down. Then we also have, after that, the Assyrian people. These people took Israel into captivity, the northern tribe. Then we also have the Babylonian, Neo-Babylonian period that we have. That's three of them. Then we also have the Medes and Persians. And then we also have the fifth, which is the Grecian Empire. So he says 5 are fallen. So he's telling John, he says, John, 5 of those kings have fallen, right? This is not the Vatican. This is not what that's talking about, right? So when we look at it, he says the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, and there are 7 kings. 5 of those kings are fallen. We just named them out to you: Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Medes and Persians, and also the Grecian Empire. Now watch this. He says, John, one is. Now the one that John was up under was the Roman Empire. That was the Roman Empire. So when he says one is, that's what he's talking about. He says, and there is, he says, and the other is not yet come, because in John's day, he didn't see kingdom that was coming. He was in the 6th kingdom, the Roman Empire kingdom, right? So watch what it says. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So this 7th kingdom, when it come, continues a short space. When you read Revelations or Daniel chapter 2 and also Daniel chapter 7, this is that 7th kingdom that we see, right, is a revised kingdom, but it comes up out of the Roman Empire. So it's revised Rome, and that revised Rome is up under 10 kings. That's what we see. Hold on, see what this is. Appreciate it, bro. So we see that revised Rome is up under 10 kings, right? Now, the revised Rome has not came yet. And I know I'm going to be questioned about this, but it has not come yet, because we see that there is 10 kings, right? And we see that in Daniel chapter 11, Daniel chapter 7, these kings make war Christ. So they can't be here yet, because they can't be here yet because the 10 kings can't be here yet because they make war, right? And we're going to see that, and Christ comes to judge them in his time. Now, when we look at also Daniel chapter 2, it's the same thing, because the 10 toes are also 10 kings. And Daniel in chapter 2, he doesn't give you a 11th toe, 11th king, but in Daniel chapter 7, he gives you a 11th horn king. And that 11th horn plucks up 3 of those 10 kings, or 10 horns, or 10 toes. He comes up and he plucks them up, right? And once he plucks them up, the rest give their power unto them, according to Revelations chapter 17. Because when you read a little bit below here, you start to realize that these 10 kings will give their power unto what we see here, the 8th kingdom. Because remember, the 7th kingdom is revised Rome up under 10 divisions. Well, what the 11th horn comes up, which will be your 8th kingdom up over here, he plucks up 3 of those 10 kings, and the rest give their power unto him, and he established the 8th kingdom to rule over Israel before the 9th kingdom come, which is Christ. And let's prove that. And right now I know I'm not going to scriptures, but I mean I can definitely get it in with the scriptures just as well too. So it says, and the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Reason why he continues a short space, which is the 7th revised Roman Empire, is because the 8th king that comes, right, which is the 11th horn, he plucks up 10 of those kings in the revised Roman Empire. And when you read read Daniel chapter 7, you're going to see that he's going to come and pluck them up and make war with them and establish the 8th kingdom. So the 7th kingdom does not continue that long because of the little horn over in Daniel chapter 7. And also, you won't, you'll get to that later on. But anyways, so it says, and the beast, it says, and there was 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other one is not yet come, which is the 7th kingdom. And when he come, he must continue a short space. So he's going to continue a short space. Why? Because look at this 8th one that's coming. This is your little horn that you're going to see that's over in Daniel chapter 11. Daniel chapter 7. It says, and the beast that was and is not, right? He was, Daniel, but he is not in your day. Even he is the 8th. And is of the 7. Now, one may say, well, he's of the 7th empire, the 7th kingdom. No, he's one of those 7 kingdoms. He's going to be. In other words, he was here before. He was that spirit of the spirit that came from out of the bottomless pit that went into perdition. And this spirit is going to be released and let out. And this spirit is going to be the spirit that's going to come on that caused the succession. I wouldn't say the succession, but caused the 5th kingdom, the Grecian Empire, to be successful, which was this spirit, right? This spirit will be released from the bottomless pit, who they are enchanting to, or this deity, right? The beast system. And this spirit that we see was, and in John's day is not. Why? Because it has not been released yet. Even he is the 8th. He becomes the 8th kingdom. He becomes the succession, or the successor of the 8th kingdom, and causes the 7th kingdom to be trampled over or to be ruled over. Now let's look at this. And it's of the 7. So he is one of these 7 kingdoms. He's been here before, right? He knows what he's doing. And it says, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. No kingdom as yet. So these kingdoms don't have no kingdom in John's day. They have not received. These kings have no kingdom because they haven't received no kingdom because they not in John's day, right? But there's 7 kings who have received no kingdom. Why? Because they're not in John's day and they haven't came yet. That's why it says is when he cometh, it says, and one is and the other is not yet come. Must continue a short space of time, right? It says, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So they're going to receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. This is why we know that 7th kingdom has not come yet, because they received that power with that king, or with power as kings 1 hour with the beast, who has not come yet. And Christ is going to take the beast in the later chapters 18 and 19. And he's going to take that beast at his coming and throw that beast into the lake of fire. Also consider the man too, because I broke that down in previous classes, but we'll get off to that another time if people got questions. But receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So that's clear. They're going to give their power and strength unto the beast. So I just wanted to bring that out to show you that the Egypt is actually the beast system. So the beast, Egypt is what we see is really the beast system. I just wanted to bring that out. G-Con is Dave's house. Facebook check this out. What they even doing in the club, and that has a white woman in there. I don't know, Sister Cherry. They up and up flexing. I said that. Why is he drinking from that straw like a woman would? And it wasn't nothing in that slushy. Wasn't nothing in there but that slush. Wasn't no drinking there. I mean, he drinking out of a straw, a skinny straw at it. I don't know why they was on that. He says the beast is Israel riding on the back of the Ottoman Empire. Now, Israel wasn't even a nation then. Or he says the Ottoman, he meant to say probably the Ottoman Empire. Israel was not even a nation then. And so also it says that when you look at Daniel chapter 7, it tells you that this beast is going to be in the days of Christ. And also Revelations tell you that too. That beast has not come yet. That beast was here, but was not in John's day. And we believe that beast was the spirit and the power that caused the Grecian Empire to be successful. Because we always see that it was these angelic beings or deities that was helping a lot of these empires. But yeah, the Ottoman Empire, Israel was already scattered. So all the nations that I gave you, Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, the Grecians, also the Roman Empire, revised Rome. Because most people say the Seventh Kingdom is the Ottoman Empire. I doubt that, because the Seventh Empire is the one that has the 10 kings. When you read Daniel chapter 7, and also Revelation chapter 17. So it has 10 kings up under. The old Roman Empire, it didn't have that. It didn't have that. And, me and Tony Ted, we be arguing about that all the time. But that's another story. Yeah, but I just wanted to bring that out quick. Yeah, that's ISBK for you. Priests all at the temple of Baal and garments, partaking of the ceremony, shaking my head, wicked Israelite. Sister Raquel. You can see the spirit in them brothers' eyes. Yeah, you seen it? I know you see it. Them brothers was in there tripping, definitely. Yeah, so man, we just gonna log off here. It's late, but I just wanted to bring that out real quick. But yeah, them brothers is definitely in here tripping, man. They're in that club, man, looking silly with them foolish garments on, with them elbow braces and wrist braces on, looking real foolish looking. So with that, I just want to say peace and blessings to the family out there. Shouts out to everybody that was in the chat room. I know it's late for y'all listening in. I appreciate y'all. And I guess if y'all got any questions, just leave them in the we will get back to those questions, or just oh well, time. I'm finna go and go to bed. Peace to the family out there. Make sure y'all click and subscribe, and make sure y'all share this. And let's stop sharing this right here. Yeah, make sure y'all also check out my last video that I did also too. And the one before that one, and the one before that one, and the one before that one. Peace, fam.